Members are present, with the exception of Kelly, who will be joining us shortly, and GR is here in the building as well. Just one moment. So, for the safety of all those in attendance, display of signs or banners will not be permitted. In addition, masks are required to be worn during the meeting, except when speaking at the presenter's podium. Tonight's meeting is a meeting of the board held in public, not a public hearing or discussion with the board. Patrons will be invited to share comments as part of the public comment portion of the meeting as outlined in the board policy BCBI. That time is set aside on the board's agenda for members of the public to share their thoughts. It is not a time for dialogue with or a it is not time for dialogue with or a question and answer session with the board. If your comments require follow-up from the board or district staff, that will occur after tonight's meeting. Please be respectful. That is your warning. Any more language like that, you will be excused. Please be respectful of the presenters and the board as we discuss and deliberate the issues and topics on tonight's agenda. Comments or actions that are disrespectful of presenters or disruptive of the board's discussion and deliberations will result in immediate removal from the board meeting. In addition, USD 497, public access to our board meetings through live streaming. The platform used for this live streaming has acceptable use rules for content on its site. While the district does not delete or hide board meeting videos, the streaming platform may elect to do so if the content of the public comment or any other portion of the meeting is found to violate the platform's acceptable use rules. Thank you for your cooperation in these areas. At this time, a motion will be in order to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the agenda.
I second.
All those in, go ahead. Yes.
Kimball,
Yes.
Cadu Blackwood,
Yes.
Gordon Ross, Johnson,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. Special recognition.
We have one special recognition this evening of a retirement. The board wishes to share our congratulations with Suzanne Case on your retirement. Please accept the board's heartfelt thanks for your many years of service and devotion to this community and its schools.
Thank you. Next is the report of the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Lewis.
Thank you, Board President Hill. Good afternoon, everyone in attendance and board members. As Elisa's loading this, we were out of school today as well as last week. Today, our pre-K through pre-K through 5 and our high school teachers focused on planning today. Middle school teachers were involved in professional development with our district content area colleagues. This morning, they were at Billy Mills and then back in their buildings for building team meetings. Our mental health teams discuss academic and social emotional support, student advocacy, and bullying prevention. Our technology teachers focused on coding instruction, and our music teachers work with the district's culturally sustainable resource criteria evaluation tool, while our art teachers discussed curriculum alignment. I want to take this, there's an image of what I was just sharing. I want to take this opportunity to just acknowledge the hard work and dedication of all of our staff. Classified, certified, administrators, both in buildings and at district office. I also want to acknowledge that this is a hard year. I've talked to other superintendents around the state, around the country really, and they share similar observations in terms of just the well-being of our staff as well as our scholars. And so I want you to know that we see you, we hear you, and we are working to continue to support you. Lindsey Buck and I have had these conversations at our one-on-one meetings. We've discussed those in our executive leadership team meeting. We will discuss again tomorrow at our executive leadership team meeting. You'll hear a little bit tonight during our Safe and Supportive Schools report. We hope that our scholars return to school tomorrow refreshed and recharged after this 5-day break. And so again, while our students were out, we were engaged in professional development. Last week, our schools hosted parent-teacher conferences, and I want to thank all of our parents and staff and our schools' families that participated. Conferences are that important time of year where our teachers are able to discuss their children's progress. We want to just inform the public and the board that we are continuing to await state approval of our ESSER application. This includes the go-ahead for our staff retention incentive plan. We did have to adjust our timeline for the first incentive payment to our staff, and so more to come on that as soon as we hear from our folks at the State Department on the approval of our ESSER application. The district is watching with extreme interest the contract negotiations between LMH Health and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas. As you know, the district switched its employee health insurance carrier to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas in September. It's already an anxiety-filled time, for our school staff, and for them to, have to worry about that, and along with a host of other stressors and social, emotional, and mental health challenges, due to the pandemic, we are working and having conversations. Are having conversations with our folks, partners at LMH, as well as Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas. I met with Russ Johnson, the CEO of LMH Health, along with our HR staff. And tomorrow we have a meeting with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas, as well as our insurance brokers to share our concerns and learn more. I have a letter prepared to go to LMH as well as Blue Cross Blue Shield. So we are attentively watching that closely. Our staff has been working with the Lawrence Douglas County Health and the Boys and Girls Clubs of Lawrence to prepare to provide COVID vaccination clinics in our schools when the vaccine is approved for children ages 5 to 11. Along those lines, I also want to offer a word of thanks to all of our students, our staff, our families. The school district priority is keeping our students and staff safe, and most importantly, keeping them in school. And so we all know that students benefit from in-person learning. And so to our scholars, staff, again, our families, thank you for helping us with our mitigation strategies. That includes mask wearing. This will assist us with uninterrupted learning while maintaining safe learning environments for all of our staff. Community-wide nominations for the district's annual One Dream Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Awards are open now through November 15th. Please nominate students, staff, or community members who are making a significant difference in their school communities and in Lawrence in the spirit of Dr. King's legacy. You may find the link to the nomination form on our website as well as our social media pages. And then finally, I want to remind everyone that the general school board election is 1 week from tomorrow. Advanced voting is available now, and polls will be open November 2nd from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. You may vote for up to 3 candidates. And that's all I have.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Lewis. GR, do you have some guests here you'd like to?
Yeah, we'd just like to welcome, we have some guests here from Boy Scout Troop 55 that are working on the Citizenship and the Community Merit Badge. So we welcome you guys tonight, and thank you for being here. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, but thanks for taking the time to be here. It's good to see you guys.
Next is the report of the President of the Board of Education. I will keep my remarks brief. I do want to thank my fellow board members for the time that they committed to the board advance a week and a half ago. It was great to build fellowship with you and just to have great, honest, open conversations. And so I appreciate your commitment to this work, and I'm grateful to serve alongside you. Next is public comment. May I please have a volunteer to read the form, please?
The USD 497 Board of Education welcomes public comments and thanks you for taking the time to talk to us about our policies and procedures. We set aside this time during our regular meetings to hear from the public. This is your time to share your opinions. However, complaints about specific staff or students will be heard by the board in executive session in order to protect the privacy of the individuals to be discussed. While you are not required to share your contact information, we ask for that information so district staff or the board can follow up with any specific concerns you may have. The board president will invite comments on topics not included on the agenda at the beginning of each meeting. Comments related to agenda items are welcome after the board has had the opportunity to discuss the topic. Please limit comments to 3 minutes.
Thank you, GR. First is Justin on the topic of masks.
What do you mean topic of masks?
If you're gonna speak, just speak, please.
It's
What? I don't have I can talk about whatever I want, not masks, not just masks.
We'll talk.
how's your time? This time has started, right? Okay, thank you.
All right, my name is Dr. Justin Spees. I've been in a protest for the mask mandates, sitting outside of this building here since July, every day since July. And as I've mentioned in here before, we have a lot more support than we do hate. It's not even close. And while we do, and I do, greatly appreciate everyone's support out there, honking and the kind things that you all say. At some point, this has to manifest into numbers. The honking and the talking has got to stop, and the acting has got to start. We'll be there when you're there. We're all getting backed into the same corner. My line in the sand was masks, Erica, thank you. My line in the sand was masks, but now these people are already talking, there's gonna be vaccines. So when you get sick of them and you get backed in the corner and you don't have any other options, we'll be there. Erica, I think I struck a nerve with you when I called you out and said you don't answer questions. I have plenty of questions you all won't answer, and one of them involves you. How are you the president of this board, but you're also on the health department board as well? Is that a conflict of interest at all? You can do your job here and on the health department board, no problem whatsoever? I wonder how that is. But she's not the only one. Brad Finkeldye, the mayor, is also their lawyer, and he's also the lawyer of the health department. I don't see any conflict of interest there whatsoever. In LJ World and Lawrence Times, the revolution will not be televised because of you. You censor. We are the story. You know it. You know it. But nobody will know because you don't want them to know. Why don't you want them to know? I wonder why. I wonder why.
Next, we have Sue.
Okay, hi, I'm Sue Herring. I'm one of the group that's out here, and we are consistently there every day, as well as a couple other spots in town you're gonna notice us showing up. But 2 weeks ago, I was here for the first time, and I spoke to you about the harm that your decisions are doing to children, to students, and how I'm glad that none of my grandchildren, who are spread from the West Coast to the East Coast, are in this school district. And after I did that night I went home and I had dreams about you guys. It was like Spanish Inquisition kind of nightmare. Your masked faces were whirling nearer and nearer to me. I'm 73 years old and you gave me a nightmare. What do you suppose is happening to 5-year-olds, 2-year-olds, and other small children that face daycare providers, administrators, and fellow students that are masked up like you? This level of cruelty really has become acceptable to you. And it's so acceptable that now you're sufficiently hardened to the damage you're doing that you'll facilitate vaccination clinics for the so-called vax for 5 to 11-year-olds who have less than 1% chance of catching or spreading COVID. Dr. Vladimir Zelensky, a certified family physician and Nobel Prize in Medicine nominee, states that there is no medical or scientific justification for vaccinating children for COVID. He tells us to say no to the poison death shots, especially for kids. Do you have anyone of equal medical standing advocating for these shots for kids? I kind of doubt it. Halloween's coming, but the lasting haunt for me is your cruelty.
Next, we have Susan Carey.
Good evening. I live in Lawrence and I am a teacher. I'd like to speak tonight about vaccines in general and the so-called vax for